his club from nothing. And I loves it.
Episode 3 of In the Dugout. Thanks for agreeing to do this, mate. It's been pretty successful in the last couple of weeks with Jonzo and Di Hills. Really enjoyed it, mate. So thanks for giving me your time, mate. I really appreciate it. And
could go down a little bit.
Oh, mate, I
could be the last episode.
It's good to do it with yourself. Like, obviously, I've grown up with you, mate, and played flipping heck loads and loads of games, with you, mate. A few games against you as well, mate. We might touch upon that later, but we'll just go straight through it, mate. So we'll start off, mate. What was obviously you've been born of mine since 7 years old, perhaps, Paul. So what was your first memory of the club, pal?
Mate, it's mad to think. I had a little trip down memory lane this week. I can actually remember my first ever training session. As mad as it sounds, because it was like 30 odd years ago.
Yeah.
But I remember, obviously, my old man used to take me up the club on a Saturday to watch the first team. Probably didn't watch the games, just kicking the ball about to that. But then
shinning the
ball around, getting practicing. But then he took me up to my first training session. Then Di Bailey was coach, Robert Bailey's old man.
Yeah.
I remember the sun was out. I always remember that. He must have sold me the dream. That 49 playing in the sun. Little did I know for the next 20 years it was going to be horizontal wind and rain, didn't it? Might not have been so keen. But Di Bailey was coach, and as you do with the kids, they pick 2 kids out today and they pick who they want. And I remember one of them pointed at me and saying, "I'll have him in the Ghostbusters t-shirt." So the Ghostbusters t-shirt on, height of fashion back in the day, obviously. And that was the first training session. Literally, I was speaking to the old man about literally 2 weeks later then. We played in a tournament down St. Helens.
Okay.
And obviously, St. Helens back in, this would have been like 1990, 1991. Probably felt like the Millennium Stadium.
Yeah.
And that's it then. You're hooked on it. That's you for life then. Only junior section.
Can you remember the boys you were playing with then? Who was in that team?
I think because Di Bailey's was coaching, I must have been with the older boys, but all I can remember is like my old man took over, or didn't take over, he was like coach as a parents do.
Yeah.
Carl Wilcox, John Bajiga, and Craig Gallivan's old man Tony. So that was my age group then. So
it was a good start, mate. Some characters then.
As you do, the parents just slot in, don't they? The referees, the cooks, they ferry you around everywhere. They give up all the time, do they?
Yeah, superb, mate.
Section, so can't fault them.
Yeah. So, you're saying like your memory of being of sunshine and stuff like that, like, and
didn't happen often.
No, exactly. That's probably why you can remember it, mate, more vividly. But was you training over the school then, or was you over?
No, I was actually on the first team pitch.
Flipping heck, you must have been privileged.
Been like the end of summer or something. I don't know when you start training. I don't know when the juniors start training, really.
Yeah.
But it's just a load of kids thrown together, really, innit, and just see how you do. And like Di said last week, we just make friends for life, then, don't you?
Yeah, you're right, mate.
Bodymine's junior section has always been brilliant, and the amount of people they brought through, not just to play rugby for Bodymine, but you see people up the club now and played for 20 years or whatever. Just brings the community together, doesn't it? And
you spot on, mate.
Well, where would we all be without Bodymine junior section, isn't it?
Well, that's what we allude to in these conversations. It's the fact that it brings us all together. That's our common thing, really. Is the club, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be mates and stuff. And it's got a massive, for me personally, it's got a massive hold on me, and I feel the club has given me everything, mate. So that's
well, you more than anyone, you've gone full circle, haven't you? Your own man took you up to play.
Yeah.
You played all the way through. You played for youth, captain of the seconds, captain of the firsts. Your first
full
team
circle.
Coach now.
Yeah.
Got a big job, and you're coaching your kids in the junior section there. So when they put the statue up.
I'm having a word to Scan, and I said, we'll have to get one now.
I heard they're going to put it up and rip it back down because he went to Dunbourne for a year.
Are we Richards apparently and said no, he's not having the statue. Mate, for me, right, like I'm going back coaching my kid now. I just want them to have a little snippet of what I've had, like, you know, and make friends for life, like, and that's all I want from me coaching the kids now is I just want them to, you know, go and make friends and have, you know, and you know, in 20 years' time they'll be in a bar and conversations like we're having now, like, you know.
It's sad, really, at the moment, the way it is. I bet your kids are itching to get up there, they.
Oh, mate,
They're all missing out, aren't they?
Yeah, it is sad, and obviously the development side of it, but more of the social side of it more than anything is just trying to get him back out there.
I tell you something I remembered from the junior section was your brother. Your brother was class. He was like a fully grown man when he was like 13, 14.
Yeah,
you see that picture in the WhatsApp group.
Even John's
under 14's presentation. Mark Johns presenting him with probably play of the year. Mark Johns like 25. And Di's 14 and he's like towering over him.
He used to have all the good meat off the old man's van. See, that's what he used to be like. I used to have the scraps.
That's all we used to do. They just used to kick off to us and catch it. Where's Di Allen? And he just used to plow through everyone. He was class.
He had a moustache like and the 11s, like it's ridiculous.
Go to the bar for us,
then. Good old days. I used to watch your team a lot, like, you know, and obviously because my brother and stuff like so. I remember, right, I was, obviously my brother's 3 years older than me, so I started training with your age.
Oh, did you?
So I was 5 years old, so I started training, but when it came to a game on a Saturday, they said, no, you can't play because you're too young. Yeah. And I said, I'm never playing rugby anyway, it's a rubbish sport, rubbish sport. Little did I know it was another 30 years.
Did you used to play tag back in those days? I think it was contact straight
contact.
Away,
yeah, flat out.
Your old man always used to video the games, didn't he?
Yeah, I used to have video through.
I don't know if you still got those videos. It'd probably be funny to watch, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be good to get a few snippets of them. Like, so you came through, Paul. So you started there when you were 7.
Yeah, we'd been 7 or 8 then, and you just go through, like you said, the fathers take over, don't they? And they just go through every level, then up to 16s, then.
Yeah. Can you remember your first senior game, first start?
First senior game. Well, actually, I couldn't remember this, but. Luckily, my old man gave me a lift to the airport on Monday, so we had a little chat in the car. And he said it was up in Llanharan away.
Right.
God knows what year it was. He said it was still in youth. And he said the coaches were Di Fox and Simon Davis. So I couldn't remember. That must have been a while ago.
God.
So he said it was on the bench, and I had 10 minutes at the end. I can't remember it. I can remember, like, I couldn't work out who the coaches were before McCarthy and Ian. But I definitely played a few games with Andrew Jacobs. He was a scrum half.
Yeah, good player.
Captain. Gareth Jones. Johnny Young.
Winger.
Darren Poland must have been there as well.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't.
I would never have said you were playing with Foxy and Simon Davis.
No, I weren't playing with them.
No, as in your coaching.
Yeah, no, me.
How old are you?
I know, mate. You know, this trip down memory lane has made me feel old. When I heard I was next on, Mark John Dials and me, I thought, how old am I? But I've been retired 6 years. That was a worrying thing. Feels like it was only yesterday.
Yeah, God, 6 years.
6 years, yeah. Where's the time gone?
Yeah. So you can. So obviously you were on the bench for your first game. So you can't remember much of it. Can you remember? Like, kind of like getting in that environment, and when you started playing for the first, did you feel it was a bit of a step up then? And
well, yeah, obviously it's a step. If I was in youth, must have been 18 or 19, isn't it? So
yeah,
as an outside half, you're only a skinny little twig, really, aren't you? So you're playing against. It seems different back then. You seem like you were playing against fully grown men. You see the people playing now; they all seem to be young, don't they? I don't see any like old school, really fat props who want to kill you and stuff like that. They're all just youngsters now, aren't they?
Yeah.
So there was a few, mate. There was a few old heads in there, but can't really remember, to be honest. Jack, all I can remember is when I think Ian and McCarthy must have taken over after him, did they?
The year after that, then was it?
Yeah, must have been. Can't really remember.
Were you down Swans? Because I know you went down Swans Academy then, didn't you?
I went to Swansea under 17s. played down there for a year, and then I went played for Swansea Youth as well. Then. So,
Who was in that team then? Who was you playing with?
Like James Orner.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Rodri. Yeah, Rodri Wells was in it.
Great player. Good night.
Can't think now.
Yeah.
Roger Davis was a coach. Good coach, Roger, mind.
Yeah. Alan's old man, is it?
Yeah, he was down Swansea as well. When they were some
schoolboys and that. They had like they introduced like an academy under 17s it was.
Yeah.
So I remember like a lot of us, it was we kind of went down Swansea for like a talk with like a lot of the Bournemouth boys kind of thing, and then we went to Neath for a talk because they had the same sort of thing. And I remember like a handful of boys went to Neath and a handful of boys went to Swansea then. Under 17s like.
I just remember now, like Swansea schoolboys now in the junior section, it was always Bournemouth and Dunvant were the best. And Swansea schoolboys starting 15 was like 7 Dunvant boys, 7 Bournemouth boys, and 1 boy from Dunvant. From Morriston, sorry.
Dixie, yeah. You had a strong team as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
I can remember watching you, but for Swansea in the cup final against, I'm going to say Tylerstone in Newport in
on Rodney Parade.
You had an absolute worldie that day. I remember you had
I didn't even pay you to say that. Look.
No, it was so rare. That's why I can remember it. But you were a classmate. I can watching you thinking, flip my neck. Like it was.
I remember I dropped a goal.
Yeah, no, you had a real good game. I can remember it, but I was up in the stands and my brother went off quite early. He had a little cut to his eyes, so he went off like so.
That was one of the good times on Rodney Parade. Roll on 15 years later, we went on there. We lost 100 points. I scored an interception try that day, even though we lost 100 points.
we scored first, didn't we? I can remember we scored first. And I thought we started strong, and I thought, flip my neck, there's nothing in these.
Yeah, well, I weren't even playing. I was working away, and you were allowed 3 extra backs on the bench or something like that. So they just asked me to go on the bench. So I was thinking, oh, great, I'll just go down there, day out, didn't it? And Richie Cunniff gets knocked out in the tackle, didn't he, in the first 10 minutes?
Yeah.
So I get chucked on. Oh, man.
It was grim, wasn't it?
It was like just practicing your kickoffs all day, kick it off, score, kick off, score. They were really professional, weren't they?
Oh, they were something else like at that point. I think we scored at the beginning, and then obviously you flipping 90 points later, you scored at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then it was I think I was the biggest cheer of the day. Like it was an interception try at the end.
Lucky it was only 10 meters to run because it would probably got caught from behind.
I remember going in the change rooms then and sitting down in the change rooms, and he was like quite glum, but he was like, right, okay, at least that's over, like kind of thing. It was
you know what as well? Steph was a coach. Steph dropped me for the next game. He said my defence wasn't good enough. He's like, he lost 100 little bit.
You could have dropped 15 of us.
Yeah,
I remember that. I think they had one of their wingers gave us a torrid time. He said like 4 tries or something. It was
they were a different class, weren't they? It was like men against boys, really, wasn't it?
Do you know, talking about tough opponents there, what was, was there a team that you come across you thought flipping it, a good outfit, or an individual player you played against growing up?
I wouldn't say teams you were worried about in that league. There was grounds you didn't like going to, wasn't there? You know, like Whitland was always heavy, wasn't it? But I always used to hate playing against Chorus. Didn't like Chorus at all. The rivalry with Dunvant always used to be there between Bonnie Mind, didn't it? But I didn't like playing against Chorus. Didn't like what they stood for. They paid loads of boys to come in today. They had a bit of a chip on their shoulder. So it was always nice to turn them over. That guy with the flag. You know, the guy he used to drive me up the wall. He was always cheating.
Cheating us like hell, didn't he? Every game. He'd march on or bring us back.
He's a nuisance, isn't he?
Yeah. We'd done right against Chorus, so, and they used to probably beat us more than we beat them, but they'd have an injury, they'd just bring someone in, wouldn't they? Yeah.
Give them a few quid. Toughest opponent. I was thinking of this one for a while, couldn't think of anyone, but back when we was like 15 or 16, your brother remember this, we used to have a bit of a rivalry with Pontyclean, and they used to have a guy called Sponge played for them in the centre.
Right.
That's how good he is now. I can remember him. He was like 15, 16. He was unbelievable. He'd just play against Pontyclean if he was playing. We just couldn't stop him. Played on the Brewery Field once and he just run riot.
I watched that game and I can
unbelievable.
remember it. Yeah,
My
he
old
was
man
something else.
remembers him. I don't know if many of the boys will.
We'll have to try and figure out his name. Pontyclean.
He should have called. He wasn't a sponge. He was like a bowling ball. He was just knocking us over like pins.
Well, was he coming down? He was coming on your channel as well, is he?
Oh yeah, I just stepped on the side. Throw her forward in front of me, like.
Yeah, flipping heck, mate. When we used to play together, 9 and 10, we weren't known for our defensive qualities.
Like a band, don't we? I did get the odd big hit then, but that was about it.
Yeah.
Ended up with loads of concussions because I was tackling more than anything.
I can remember putting it on. Remember we played quite a bit for the seconds together, mate, when we first coming through, and it was always us against Penlan, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, loads of games against Penlan.
Oh, we used to have some, and it was proper battles back.
Yeah, they weren't really rugby games, were they? There was no skill involved. It was just.
Oh mate, it was
just like a game of rugby league, really, wasn't it?
But I do think, God, it did harden us. Like we were quite young, like at the time, but playing against teams like and touched upon earlier, like Whitland for the seconds, Narberth for the seconds, they were proper battles, and I think it gave us a real good stead, like going forward, like.
Yeah, and the games used to be up in the with as well, away, didn't they? Horrible.
Oh God. Oh, I mean, you hit I think it was Rostra game or tackle, like, and you put a big hit on him, didn't you?
I think he was falling over, mate.
Yeah, he was on his way down, like.
Smashed him because he ever see him in town.
He was on his way down.
I remember one of the concussions he had. He was playing Dunban for the seconds. I think it was like the last game of the season. Oh no, was it last game of the season? But anyway, ball come back to me down under the park, kicked it long. They passed inside, and the big number 8 ran at me and went to smash him. And he must have just knocked me back, smashed my head on the floor. And I was jogging under the post. He'd scored. I was running back. I was like, "Oh, missed that fucking tackle." And the boys were like, "You did." I was like, "Oh, did I?" I had no recollection of it at all.
That was Mumbles, wasn't it?
Mumbles, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Giving everyone a bargain for missing the tackle. It was me.
You scuffed the kick as well, didn't you?
Yeah, so pretty standard.
Just a boss. That's flat out.
Like, we had to, especially back in the day, if you got concussed on that, no one was telling him to come off. You'd have to take himself off.
Yes, it's all changed now, like, do you know what I mean? Which rightly so as well, like, all these concussions and stuff, and fair play, like a lot of protocols now you've got to go through. Obviously talking about a few games there, mate. Is there any like games that stand out for you, like real memorable game?
There was one. I had to look at. Well, there's two actually. I had to look it up. There's quite a lot of stuff on the Bowling Mind website if you ever look at it. First time I looked at it. But there was a game. I think it was 2009.
Yeah.
We were struggling in the league. We had a load of youngsters from the youth because loads of players had left to go on to better things and stuff like that. And we played Tolmount, and at the time, for a good couple of years, Tolmount were paying a lot of money, weren't they?
Yeah, they're doing.
Bringing in a lot of boys, flashing the coin, a couple of extra Ospreys. They were flying in the league, and we were down the bottom. And they come up just expecting to stick 60 points in us, and we absolutely battered them. Every single touch that day.
Yeah.
I must have had an off day because I was kicking everything. Drop goals over. Paul Davis scored. Harwood's, Pooley. And after like 20 minutes, we were winning 26-0. They didn't know what hit them.
Yeah.
I remember we ended up beating them like 35-5.
Yeah.
And in the changing rooms afterwards, it was like...
I remember it. I remember it.
It was bad.
I remember it.
We were singing, "We are the champions." We bottom of the league. One of the best days ours.
I remember that game. I was getting filled in by the second row or something. I think I might have said something to him, or obviously we were winning, and he was giving me a bit of a tune in, and you run in, pushed him, or like, and he went. He went to hit you, and he went. He put your hand up.
Mervyn Meredith, is it?
That's right, yeah, that's him.
I must have run over to save you. Realised how snuffed up like I realised how big he was. I thought I better not try and hit him. I'll get both of us get filled in.
Put your hand up.
The thought that counts, so drag.
No, I did appreciate it, mate. A lot of the boys that didn't fancy that, but you did run over and stop him from battering me for a bit, like. But yeah, what a game that was, mate. It was, I think, like you said, they were flying quite high at the time. It was just one of those days, I think, where everything a wee kind of touched, like you said, turned into points. Yeah. And we look good.
The other one was probably my last ever game at Bodymine at Parkmouth. I think before I come back for last season, I think I had a year off because it was just too much with work and everything, driving back and forth Cardiff all the time.
Yeah.
But I had a year off, must have started to miss it and come back. I remember actually we ended up winning the league and the cup, but first pre-season game was down Kidwelly. My first game back, we got absolutely battered.
Yeah, you're right.
Battered 50 points in pre-season, I think it was. I was thinking, oh, hang on a minute, this could be a bit of a mistake.
Yeah.
But we won and lost a few games, and then we were just class. And all season, I think we won 15 games on the trot. We won the cup the week before we won the league.
Yeah, that's
on the last day at Bodymine, my last game, always remember, it was massive crowd up there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was nice enough to let me lead the boys out. And we were competing all year with Skewin, actually, for the league, weren't we? And we played Skewin the last game. And we won the league. And I bagged the man of the match as well.
Yeah. I'm sure Colin was handing out the man of the match.
So my neighbour, Tony Bajin. So.
I can remember that game, mate, because it was kind of drummed up to be a big game, to be the title decider, wasn't it, against Skewin, we thought.
Yeah, and it was all the last game, wasn't it? But they lost or drew the week before.
Yeah, that's right. So we had already won the league, but it was great to finish on a high, and especially for yourself. And just to touch upon that, I think your performance that year was incredible. And no, honestly, mate, you look at a 10 to kind of dictate the game, and it was nothing flash, mate, but you controlled a decent pack and a good backline, mate. So it was a good team, wasn't it? We had a good team. Everyone knew their jobs. We'd have boys come back, a duel from wherever they were, Llandudno and stuff like that, slot in, and it was the most enjoyable one, and especially to go 15 games unbeaten or whatever it was. But then again, we become victims of our own success, didn't it? Because I retired, boys left to sign for Swansea, and we
hardly had a team the next year, did we? We played Skewin, second game of the next season, and they stuck 50 points on us, I think.
That's right, they smashed us.
It's a bit of a gutter, really.
But I think if you look at over the years, that's happened to us every season.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is. We can convey a belt, and the boys go off to better things. It's great to show that the club is doing something right.
They always come back, don't they? You look at the signings and they come back. I know we had COVID last year, but you see the signings. We had Dean Howells, Greg, Dwayne, Richard Brooks has come back. That's a pack in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's great, and it's great that that they want to come back and they want to finish their careers where it all started. It's a massive positive.
Even when they used to play for different teams, they come back to the club straight after the game, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Have a few pints of squash.
A few pints of squash with your Brooks.
Dwayne. But they're drinking squash, that's why they're in the Premiership.
Yeah, that's right. We were smashing a few pints, that's why we didn't make it. No, it's I just touch upon yourself then, mate, on that year. I think you obviously, I think we lost a few key players, props, scrum halves and stuff like that. Duffy, Connor Salter were quality that year for us. But then I think with you going as well, then we lost kind of our someone who could control the game kind of thing. And I think that's where we really struggled then for a while. And I think until you sit back and analyse your career, mate, really, and you don't appreciate, and people perhaps don't appreciate what of a job you did do for us.
Thanks, mate.
No,
we weren't bad, were we, Drag? We weren't exactly Barry, John and Gareth Edwards, were we? But we done enough. Oh, mate, enough every week.
I had a conversation the other day about it. I think it was, and I said, you know what? I played with Warlow for years. And I can't remember me and you ever having
a decent game.
No, a decent game, a decent kick. Make a tackle, no, but never had a disagreement on the pitch. Never argued.
No.
It was just it is what it is. If we kind of
should have, because some of the passes you used to throw me, no wonder my back's gone. You always used to blame it on the wind.
Oh, I mean, it's a bad wind up top, whatever.
Yeah.
No,
You used to spend most of your time telling the ref everything he was doing wrong anyway.
Oh, we had a few bad refs, though.
I think Alan Powell used to do most of your passing from it because he was too busy chops it.
Yeah. Well, I should play with some good eights, mate. They put the ball in the scrum and they let them pass it off for me because they're better service. You got to think smart these days, mate. So it was. Do you know, looking back, mate, and looking back at your career, do you have any regrets, mate? Is there anything that you would change?
Well, we shouldn't say it's really because it's a Bony Mine like podcast or whatever, but it was coming back to Bony Mine when I was with Swansea. Sorry to put a bit of doom and gloom on it.
We can edit this.
Nothing to do with Bony Mine itself. It was just I didn't like quite. What happened was must have been about 2003, 2004, playing for Swansea Youth, and it was getting decided whether it was going to go regional, wasn't it? Whether the Leith and Swansea were going to merge. So the players, like, I think they decided they weren't going to play for Swansea first team now, something to do with money or insurance or something. So they started chucking the 21s in for the last few games, and a couple of youth boys, like Tonka, remember Tonka from Lacher?
Yeah.
He had to run the games. Gareth Swales, was his name Gareth Swales? Paul Warlow, all in the team. And I had a phone call to go down and go on the bench for the first team. So I was buzzing with it. Howell Thomas was playing 10. I think Ben Evans, the prop, the ball prop. He was playing
international.
Two others, no like major people like. And I didn't get on. Absolutely spewing. I just wanted someone to snap Howell Thomas in half minute so I can at least have 2 minutes. But it went regional then, so Swansea become like, the same as they are now. They're semi-professional, they like a feeder club. So I gets invited down for pre-season. I was hoping to sign sort of thing, but they signed this guy, Luke Richards, who's getting paid money. Tony Clement knew him. He was the coach, obviously. And they had a guy, Matthew Jones, as well. Remember him?
Yeah,
he went on to play for the Ospreys, didn't he? And I think he had a Wales cap as well. So I was down there then as well with them. And I was just looking around after a couple of sessions. And I just thought, do you know what? I'm not going to get a game here. And I just left. Instead of just, knuckling down and trying to push for a place or getting a squad or something, I just walked away. And the worst thing was then, like 2 weeks later, Matthew Jones didn't even sign. He signed for Leith.
Yeah.
So that's one of my regrets, mate. Just if only you knew now what you didn't know then, innit?
Of course.
I'm not saying I would have done anything, but an opportunity like that to play for Swansea, play rugby.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love playing for Bony Mine. It wasn't like giving it up, was it?
No, of course not. But you might think like what if kind of thing, and it's like if I did stay and on what could have been kind of thing.
Like Richie re-signed from Dunvant. He'd just been playing for Dunvant. Next thing, he's playing well for Swansea. Plays for the Ospreys.
Yeah.
He plays for Wales. He ends up playing for London Irish, stuff like that. It's just
how it goes.
To knuckle down a bit instead of just rolling over and.
Yeah, we touched upon it before, but I think the important thing is like for future players who might be in that same sort of predicament or situation, is the club will always be there. And you know what I mean. And if someone gets the opportunity to go and play higher, then they need to go for it flat out and commit to it 100%. And like I said, the club is always going to be there. They come back to the club whenever we can. We support them all the way through. So,
when they don't get picked, that's the first thing you do is come back and play for Bony Mine, isn't it? And sometimes that's not even for the first team. Sometimes they have to go and have a game for the seconds, don't they? But boys do it, don't they? No one's got any egos at the club. No,
that's right. And whether you're playing for the first or the seconds, I think. It's just the fact of being a part of something that they've grown up and been involved in, and they'll give everything for the cause kind of thing, isn't it? Yes, but at least you said you were down there, mate. They must have thought something about you.
Give it a go. I used to love playing in the Swansea kit. They used to look after you. We used to play we played in the Rec in Bath and stuff like that. I used to play against some big names, and just enjoyed it. Loved it.
You ended up playing outside half. Then for Bony Mine, then for when you were 18, then but all the way through.
I'd say 2004, 2005, played for Bony Mine. We weren't all first team, most seconds probably from 2004 to 2009, something like that.
You had a few coaches in between that as well, then, didn't you? Obviously,
Steph, Richard Webster, Max, Powell.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Batsford.
Batsford, yeah. McCarthy and Yayan.
Yeah.
Zonti.
Oh, John D. Morris. Yeah. Top man. Absolute top man. Right, mate. What we're going to do now, we're going to go for your Bonamine 15.
Bonamine 15. Do
Boys,
you know what? It wasn't easy, mate. People just kept on popping into my head. And, you know, you have to... I noticed Guy and Mark had a little reason why they were in the team. They're just trying to think of something. Without being too abusive.
Yeah, you can be as abusive as you want. That's right, mate. We're in lockdown. They're not going to see you for a while anyway, so don't worry about it.
I'll just stay in Scotland for a couple of years.
Even it. Right,
yeah,
mate.
so
we'll go for loose head to start,
I didn't know who's a loose head, who's a tight end, to be honest.
It's all the same, innit?
Bend and push. Yeah, bend over and pushing it.
Yeah.
So I got for Doofy firstly. I know the props get a lot of abuse, don't they? They're supposedly the laziest. They do the least on the park. They're fat and all that sort of stuff. But really, they do the most, don't they? They bend down the scrummage. They lift in the line out. They do loads of tackling and stuff like that. And I think Doofy can do all of that. So he showed how good he was in those last couple of seasons they played. And he ended up down Swansea end. So
yeah, well, he had a few seasons down Swansea.
Yeah.
Played both heads as well, mate. So yeah, good choice there. So and he's back with us.
On the other side is Greg Cunniff, Hank.
Oof,
great player. One of the nicest people you meet, didn't he, Greg?
Awesome.
But stick a pair of rugby boots on. He's a different animal, isn't he? He will stamp on anything, punch anything. I was thinking I'd probably have to have Dean Owls on the side ready to come on for when Greg gets yellow carded. So.
Think with like you touched upon there, like he's the nicest guy in the world, and I've been fortunate enough to play behind Greg for all these years, like, and he step in and help me out lots of times. I'd be probably chops in too much, and then next thing you know, the player's gone off and injured, and Greg's walking away from a ruck.
Greg's like out his hand.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, so Doofy and Hank, who's up there?
This was Hooker was probably the hardest one. I could have gone for Steph. Like Ilzy said last week, Steph was class. His only problem was Darren was in the same position as him, and he was club captain. Could have gone for Pritchie as well. Loved playing with Pritchie, proper club man, and he's been captain for a few years now, hasn't he?
I think he's probably, either equal with the record, like with the consecutive years or altogether, like. Yeah, either equal or over, mate, even. So it's a massive achievement.
But I've gone for Darren Poland. Had to be Darren Poland.
Fair play.
Was like was my first captain because Jakey was there, but I can't remember that time. So Darren was always captain. Done his best thing about Darren. He done his talking on the pitch, didn't he?
Yeah,
he didn't need to say anything. He just put it in every week, wouldn't he? And good captain. And when we were juniors as well, he come down and coached our team for a year or 2 seasons with my old man and that, so I'll never forget that. So can't fault him for that.
He did the same for my team as well. Like he came back, like,
I think
and he just goes.
It as well.
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think out the house.
At the end of the year, out of it, and
and if you look at it now, the last yourself, Hilsey, and John, so they've all picked Darren, like so it's just.
I think you get in a lot of teams. I do.
Yeah,
depending
100%.
on what era sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay, so that's your front row.
Number 4, I've gone for. I know he plays number 8, but I've gone for Richard Brooks.
Put him in the boiler house.
Put him in the boiler house. Yeah.
He like this now.
He'd be tamping.
Any reasons why he's in the boiler house?
Only because he wanted to stick someone else number 8, and the number 8 couldn't play in the boiler. Well, he probably could, but Brooks, he's in there. Can't remember many playing with him much before he went to Llandovery or went to higher standard, but when he used to come back and play, we were a completely different team, class player. Really, I shouldn't really stick him in because he gave me a bit of shit in WhatsApp the other day because I said he wouldn't do this interview. But where credit's due, Brooksy is class, isn't he? So you got to stick him in there.
Brings a lot of experience back to us now, hopefully this year.
Oh yeah. Like
he's chomping at the bit for it as well.
He'd be everywhere when he'd be the best player every week, probably.
Yeah, it's great to have him back, mate, to bring that Premiership standard back into our training, and good voice, and
yeah. Well, hopefully all the Premiership boys now will up the standards a bit, won't they?
Hopefully, mate. That's the plan. Richie Brooks in the second row in the boilers. I love that. Brilliant.
Yeah. I've put Stuart Miller in next to him.
Oh, what a guy.
He just do all the donkey work, Woody Miller. Left good in the line out, decent round the park. But every time we think of Miller, I just think of when I sledged him when he was playing for Dunvant. I never used to do any sledging, but he was playing for Dunvant up the club against us. About 10, 15 minutes gone. I could see he's breathing heavily. So I just made a beeline for him and just let him know how unfit he looked. How he was breathing through his arse and he wouldn't last the rest of the game, that sort of thing. But we used to get a lot of sledging in rugby. The only person who ever sledged me was you, Drag. If you can remember that.
I did, yeah. I can remember a little something.
Some broad ache, haven't it? He was playing 9, I was playing 10. He was playing for Dunvant. And the ref gives a penalty, so I signal for the post, innit? Someone brings a tee on for me. You're back 10 with the rest of the Dunvant boys. My head's down. I'm putting the ball on the tee. And all I can hear is you making sure I can hear, shouting, don't worry, boys, it's only Warlow. He's fucking useless. He won't kick us. It worked.
He missed.
So thanks for that, mate.
Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry, I do apologise.
Got into my head.
I can remember that. I was saying, the boys, get the ball, it's going to be a drop on 22 beer, boys.
He was right.
Mate, and you know what was I really liked the season that Miller had when he came back to us, when we were really young at that point, and we needed a little bit of guidance and a few old heads to come back. And I know Miller, and we had Miller, Coxey.
We need someone like Miller in the second row to do, because he's so big and a good target to hit the lineup.
He was cool and calm, and I can remember we played Uwick up there, and we were like, right, these are only students, let's get stuck into these, blah blah blah, let's get fly into these from me off, let them know, and then they won't like it. We started off with that tactic, and I think we were like 25 points down. I thought we were playing against like 30 players. Like they run us off a path.
They just used to go back and forth, didn't they, Uwick?
Oh mate, they were different level. And I remember at half time, and Miller was like, right, let's start playing rugby a bit now. Like let's not try and take their heads off. And we came back in the game, and I think we might have drawn. I think Yanto had an off day, and he kicked one right from the sideline or something. Like I think it was like 32 all or something like that. It was. Yeah.
They're the best ones, isn't they?
yeah. He pulled one over, but we might have just pipped it. I don't know, but it was. I remember Miller just chilling us out a bit. Like we couldn't keep going on about that game. Or it was flipping it. 25 points straight away. It was embarrassing. Like, but yeah, good choice, mate. Very good choice. Number 6.
Number 6 have gone for the. He's an open side, but I'm going to put the Ginger Nugget Clancy in there.
Get him in there.
Clancy do all my tackling for me. He's been up the club loads now, hasn't he? Loads of years, loads of seasons. Put in a massive shift for the club.
Yeah.
You always remember that little move we had, Fish?
Yeah. Drop
used to put him in a little gap, made him look good.
He used to drop it.
But he's in there for his team talks before the game. You know when you're all trying to be serious and then Clancy pipes up with an inspirational team talk? Mate, I'd be crying inside, absolutely dying. And I'd make a point of looking at him after it as well. Inspirational thing. Brilliant. Couldn't get his words out quick enough.
Was that the one? Remember when he said, right now, forwards. Forwards. Let's make sure we're dragging us. What do you say?
A wheelchair right.
Yeah. The boys are like,
funny man.
Just killed it, like.
But what a player, class player.
He's a warrior, mate, and I think very similar to yourself. Like, and until you finish, I think you realise what an absolute player he was, like a bowler, like like you said, he's been playing for years and consistently.
He's still got a couple more years in him, I reckon.
He looks.
He's younger than me, so he's gonna be 36 or 35, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, and he had a bit of time out, didn't he? But he's back in it now, and he's
that bad joint injury.
Yeah, he's
made sure.
Make sure you stretch, like. But yeah, he's looking after himself. So good, mate. That's a real good start on this pack. Open side flanker.
Oh, yeah, I just remember I could have gone for like Dials as well. He was a class player. Do you remember a boy called Luke Jones?
Yeah,
He
he's
had
my
like long
yeah.
hair, didn't he? He played for 2 seasons, absolute beast, wasn't he?
Whoa, mate.
Smash everyone. But he went to Japan or something, didn't he, to teach?
Yeah, yeah.
Like that?
China, I think. I know he's.
China, was it?
I think he's in. Yeah, you're right. He's teaching in. I don't know, maybe Singapore or something like that now.
Yeah.
It is. But,
He was an absolute beast for 2 seasons.
He was incredible, mate.
He'd walk in the club on a Saturday morning, beating a full rotisserie chicken before the game. Getting his protein in.
Yeah.
Must have been before protein shakes were invented.
Yeah, mate. He was my age. Like he was my number 8. Like he was the flipping. Oh,
I remember we played down Narberth once, and he was just smashing everyone. He was good.
I have no doubt he would have gone higher. I think if he was kind of maybe in this era or a couple of years back, where there's a bit more academies and stuff like that, I think he would have gone higher. Like definitely.
Yeah. But I haven't gone for those two. I've gone for my mate James Bidger.
Oh, flipping heck.
Absolute nuisance on the pitch. Even bigger nuisance off the pitch. But I know what Bidger's like. He's just destructive and he wants to smash everything. Great player. Just unfortunate for him that his knees done him in, didn't he? And that was the end of him. He couldn't quite recover from his injuries. Like you say, nuisance on the pitch and off it. He just loves throwing mud at people in training, didn't he? If you weren't trying to keg, he would do on the end with a bit of mud.
We'd pull out the packet of crisps and smack and bang it in your face.
But he's definitely someone you want a new team, especially if it kicks off as well.
Oh yeah, he's flying. What I mean, you can't coach boys like that. You just got to put him on the pitch and say, just crack on. Don't put him into any systems.
Yeah, he's just like a dog chasing a ball, isn't he? He just loves it.
He obviously he tried really hard. It was gutted for him, but he worked so hard in the last pre-season before, and he was looking really good in training. At the car, he got quite
excited, did he?
Yeah, excited and quite angry with me once because like they said, he wanted to start smashing people. He was on the pad and he was like trying to fly in the boys. I was like, oh, chill out now, make sure your knees are right. And he's like, I'm all right. Well, and then he got quite heated, but he just wanted to play so badly, and he managed to get a few games out of him. He went down Kenvig Hill. And he come off a bench, and then he came off the bench because that's the better.
He got injured in the warm-up or something. Did his other knee, didn't he?
Yeah, well, we were training, and he played Vera. He's outstanding. I think we had, I don't know, it was a cup game after that, before we went to the Millennium Stadium, Principality. And he trained on the Tuesday. I think it was on the Thursday end. He made 2 tackles in a row, and then he gets up. It goes to make another tackle, which was not even his tackle, and then his other knee went, But
yeah, he was unlucky, wasn't he?
I gutted for him, but
he would have been down Swansea for years, and they loved him down Swansea, didn't they?
Oh, 100%.
Like you say, absolute beast as well, isn't he?
He's giving back the club now, and he's helping with the coach of seconds. Hasn't lost a game, I don't think, with the seconds. He hasn't made one team talk because he struggles with that as well, didn't he? So you got him and Clancy, now. There's not much communication on them two, is there? But thoroughly deserved him, man. What a player, and most importantly, what a great guy.
Definitely gets in my team.
Yeah, 100%.
Number 8, because I couldn't put Brooks in, I've gone for Alan Powell. Played with Powell for years. Good player, wasn't he? He thought he was a back, didn't he?
Oh yeah,
fast and all that, but I think he always wanted to play in the backs.
Yeah.
The thing I remember of Powell, he just always used every other week he'd go off on a stretcher, wouldn't he, with a career-ending injury. He would, didn't he? And then he'd have a shot, and he'd be back in training fine on the Tuesday. He must have had the magic sponge because he just like being clapped off on that stretcher.
Yeah. He used to go off like this, didn't he? And then he'd have supporters player of the year every year.
Yeah, all the time, didn't he? But he was a brilliant player, and he went on to coach us, didn't he? So.
And the same with Powers as well. Like he came back to us, mate, and he was experienced from Llanelli at that point.
Yeah.
He came back to us, and he steadied the ship, and he was just exactly what we needed at that point as well. Like he's
a good player at 8, didn't
he? Yeah, great, mate. He was that's a flipping great pack. Real strong.
Not bad.
Yeah, great, mate. Scrum half, mate. Who are we going for?
Well, I could have gone for your good self, Drag, but as I say, we played loads of games together. We weren't bad, is it?
No, we did all right, mate. We did all right.
What was I going to say about you? Like you said before, I haven't put you in because you probably sledged me and put me off my game that time. But I could not go without putting Connor Salter in.
Oh, class, mate.
Seth was good as well, but Connor Salter, he's fresh in the memory because that last season he played, he was amazing when he would win us games from quick penalties on the basis of the scrum. I just thought he was class.
He's probably the best player in the league that year.
Yeah, he signed for Leslie, and I don't think he plays anymore, does he?
No, he's
given up the concentrate on vaping, hasn't he? Every time you see him now, he's got it's like a plume of smoke coming out of his face.
He came back the end of last year and he's had a couple of games for us, and I'm just hoping that he does come back now because
I 100% try and get him back.
We don't want.
He always looks fit.
Yeah, he'll always fit. Like he's such a talent. Like we can't waste that talent. So hopefully we'll get him back now. But you can't argue with that, mate. What a player.
Yeah. Sorry, Drag, to leave you up.
Don't bother me. I take back everything I said now. I can edit this anyway, mate. I promise. Anyway, sorry. No, fair play. Go on, mate. Number 10.
Number 10 is only one, as Jamo. Jamo's class, wasn't he? I'm not ashamed to say he was way better than me when he signed up a club. Didn't know him, but become good mates, even though we were competing for the same sort of position. Yeah. I probably ended up playing more games for the seconds end and got the odd game on the bench, or if he got injured. He had it all, didn't he? He was kicking out the van, kicking for goal, running the show, and top man as well. I actually remembered one of the games, he was out injured, and I looked on the internet. It was against Narberth, actually, and there was a little write-up about it. And the first sentence is Mark Davis gets red carded in 15 minutes, set.
Yeah.
And the second one is on for his debut, 18-year-old Richie Cunniff.
Really?
So Cunniff made his debut in that game.
Wow.
And I had man of the match, another off day.
Yeah, get a shoehorn that in, innit?
Yeah, I must have had a little run of games then because Jamo was injured. But apart from that, he kept me up the team.
He was, I think that year, mate, he had 200 plus points.
Oh, mate, he was class. Yeah,
he was different. He was different level when he. Yeah. I think he went underneath then the year after, maybe.
Yeah, you need that from a 10, didn't you? Good kick, all his kicks, like so. Top man as well, didn't he? He wasn't big-headed or anything.
No, we could have done with him. Warlow, a good 10. Just kick the touch.
I was too busy in the second shinning him. I was.
Yeah, I was with him.
But,
yeah, class.
Yeah, he didn't like tackling. That's the only thing he wasn't any good at. Didn't like tackling.
Standard 10s, mate. This is a bit of a common theme in our chats we've been having on here. We haven't done many physical 10s, but
no, I won't find any of them.
No, that's right. Left wing, mate, number 11.
I put Ryan Llewellyn. Can you remember him?
Why?
Well, he's not my pick. I grew up playing against Ryan. He was a resolving boy. He was class all the way through. When he was down Swansea, 17s, 18s, he was brilliant. He just stand his winger up, go around him, so powerful.
He
ended up having a couple of years at the club, did he?
Yeah, done well.
Because he's from resolving, he's not going to get in there. I've gone for Chris Orpey.
What a player.
Yeah. Orpey was class, wasn't he? Great sidestep on him, scored loads of tries. He just popped into my head the other day. Thought, Orpey was good.
Do you know what? And you talk about boys like our era now, and especially that era when we came through, when a lot of senior people left for, like you touched upon earlier, for whatever reason, and we had to come into that team. We were so young, and he was first year seniors on the left wing, and
he played fullback as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he was making seasoned wingers look average. Like he was. Yeah. But the one thing that struck me about Orp, he'd get tackled and he'd be fuming, like, and just hit the person who tackled him. Like he's such an angry player. But
anger management.
He was terrible, mate. But he scored a try for Panther.
He loved the Panther. Didn't he?
Used to put him in for.
He scored loads of tries if he knew how to pass as well, because he wouldn't keep passing, was he?
He wouldn't. But what a player that year, mate. I think those first 2-3 seasons, he was the difference for us. Like, real class act. But I do see him now and again. Like he always says, "Oh, I'll come back up. I'll have a game.
He
Have a
gives it
game."
that one.
One of them ones, like. But I hope he does one day because he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's good. Just to see him up there having a few pints will be all right.
Yeah.
Down the Boney.
12.
12 have gone for both my centres are outside centres, so they'll have to play left and right. But I've gone for Dugsy. Loved playing with Dugsy. He was class when he looked the part more than anything. Good left foot, made loads of breaks.
Yeah.
And love Dugsy, a lot of respect for Dugsy.
Yeah,
used to like stopping in his local as well, the farmers in, what was it, Pontardice or
Pontardice, wasn't it?
Pontardice, yeah. Whenever we played down west, wasn't it? The team bus back, I'd always stop off in the farmers, drop him, Graham Alexander off.
Yeah.
We'd squeeze like 4 or 5 pints in 2 hours, and we sometimes there'd be other teams in there, wasn't there, that played down west.
Yeah.
Then we go back at the club, so those were good times. You don't appreciate that at the time.
No, mate, you don't. When you used to stop off and it'd be like a couple of other teams, there'd be a bit of a showdown to start.
Yeah,
You'd be like, and then after you had a few pints, like it was. I remember we had a good stop off in Hendy Rugby Club as well one year, Warlow, but we
won't talk about that one.
We won't talk about that one, mate. We can't.
I missed that canvas. That was a lovely photo, that was.
It's not behind you, is it? Another one of the horses behind you.
No. I would be funny, wouldn't it, if I had it up in the background.
Dugsy used to love a double denim as well, didn't he? Remember?
Yeah, he's the only one that can pull it off.
Yeah, big fan of the double denim, like so. Yeah, great player, mate, and like you said, top man as well. 13
gone for Wilcox, the old stalwart.
Class.
I love Wilcox. It weren't great to play with mine because he'd be chirping in my ear all the time.
Yeah.
Giving me bonkers for not getting the line up, not calling the moves early enough, stuff like that. But brilliant play. Actually, it was either last year or the year before. Can't remember now because of COVID. It might have been last season, actually. Bijah was ringing around everyone, desperately needed plays for the second. So I went down. And Wilcox was playing, and he's still got it. He's still getting the first team.
Yeah.
Not bad because he's about 50, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 50. Don't look at that, does he? That's the thing, isn't he?
I hope he watches this.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be watching it, mate. And
I love having a little dig at Coxie because I can just imagine him laughing at.
I touched upon it last week with Dials. Remember, he used to have his tops.
He used to have
taken in his arms,
didn't he? Even last year when we were doing those challenges, he done a walk around Ford's, didn't he? He took a picture. His Ford's top was looked like
you tape round him. But top man as well.
Good laugh as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a legend, mate. Legend. Strong, mate. So we got 14 now.
14. I've gone for a youngster. Well, he's probably not young anymore. Nathan Brooks.
Yeah.
Probably played more games with his old man, to be fair, because Keith must have been with the seconds when he first went up there. And he played till he was about, gone 40, didn't he?
Yeah.
Legend, Keith.
He's legend, mate. Absolutely.
Great bloke, isn't he? But Nathan's just lightning, isn't he? He can win a game for you. I always remember when we played Connethley in the Cup.
I was just going to mention
he ran the length of the pitch twice, didn't he? And there's no one else that could have done that for Boney Mine that day. Nearly beat them, didn't we? There's
some clips. We had that sent to us not so long ago. Actually, it was in the group. Like you said, he picks the ball up from a drop pass, I think it was, and he runs the length of the pitch. Yeah. He's gassing like it was Jordan Williams.
I think I was on his shoulder, wasn't I?
I think you were like cheering on from about. I think you shouted, "Kick it to the corner, put it in the corner." I was on the bench, mate, so I'm not saying anything. I was dropped that week, so.
That was a good game. That was. We nearly beat them, didn't we?
It was good on Clethley, in all fairness, because I think that was due to be played down there. Yeah. But obviously a big occasion, and then they said, "No, we'll come up with you boys." Like, in all fairness, like, so it was real nice touch from them.
To tell you what was funny about that game, Nathan Eager was in the road for us, wasn't he? And Dwayne was playing against him, brotherly love and all that. Nathan stamped all over him, didn't he?
Yeah, Nick
stamping.
Yeah, he patted him, didn't he? He patted him. Yeah, that was great. Mate, Nathan, and you look at it, and from Nathan, he was really young when he first came on the scene there as well, and and he was tearing people apart like at that age, like, and he's
They
still
say
doing it
about,
now.
like, go back to Ballymine junior section. They come through the junior section. Keith would have been coach, and now he's got two boys playing for the first team now. So there's another example.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah, spot on, mate. You're giving so much back to the club. It's been
I'd say most of my team has come through the junior section. I'd say, apart from 3 or 4.
Yeah, I don't many. Jamo, Dugsy,
yeah.
Alan Powell.
Don't know why. Ponda Dallas was there?
I think he was skewing, wasn't he? Skewing. Yeah. 15, mate.
15. So between Richie Wills, well, I played with Darryl Hill, who was a Welsh international.
Darryl Williams.
Darryl Williams, sorry. I had that one cap, which turned into a bit of a nightmare for him.
Yeah.
But Richie Wills and Twiggy, it was between. Richie Wills was class. And they both sort of the same sort of player, running wise. But Twiggy gets in just for his kick.
Class, mate.
I've never seen someone kick a ball as far as him so effortlessly as well.
Yeah, class.
Which is needed up Ballymine when the wind machine's on, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can kick it 50 metres against the wind, and then when you've got the wind then, he can get you in a good position, can he?
Oh, mate. And you know what? He had a hell of a boot in him, but he could play as well. Like, his passing was good.
The only thing is he kept on going back to the Birch Grove all the time.
Oh, he loved that, didn't he?
Should have just stayed with Ballymine.
Yeah, I know.
He used to get injured all the time, his shoulder, didn't he? But he should have just stayed with Ballymine.
Yeah. And what a top man. His brother's a good boy as well.
Yeah, good.
Funny boy. So, did you find it difficult, mate, like picking those?
Just trying to, people just popping into your head all the time. So it's a good team, right, isn't it?
I like it, mate. It's a strong side, and it's it's not much thinking in the flankers there. We've got Bijah and Clancy, and Richard Brooks with his weight now in the second rows as well. So he'll hold that scrum for us, won't he? So it's.
I'll put you number 16, Drag, your favourite position.
Bring me on for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes. 5 minutes. We're winning by 50. I'll put us in the corners, mate. We've slow that down. You're looking at Darren Poland and Grego. Both of them are having yellow cards. Bijah's probably going to have a yellow.
Miller's going to need to be subbed after about 25 minutes.
Yeah. Powell's going to go off injured.
We're just going to slag everyone off.
Oh, mate, I like it. It's a strong side, mate. It's such a strong side. Yeah. So, mate, just to recap, really, and kind of finish off. Obviously, you've been at the club since you were 5, 6, and your man used to bring you up, and obviously you still got a lot of ties with the club. And what does like the club mean to you now, looking back after all these years?
Yeah, mate. Obviously, love the club. It's a shame, really, that I've been working away a lot, and I haven't got to go up there just to support, not even to just play and just be a part of it. Miss being a part of it. Don't miss the training on a cold, wet Tuesday and Thursday night, but just being in the change rooms, having a laugh after we've won, or we've been up against it or something, and just being around the people in the club, really. The club's got full of characters, isn't it?
Yeah,
some we like, some we don't like. Nothing better than being up a club on a Saturday night when everyone's performing, is it?
No, I know, mate. No, I can't wait for those days, mate.
So hopefully the good times will be back soon. And as I say, we should have a hell of a team now as well. So
yeah, fingers crossed, mate.
I might have to lace my boots up actually for.
Well, that was my next question.
Next year, isn't it? I need an excuse to get match fit for Canada, so you never know.
Mate, that would be great, wouldn't it? Can you imagine that? Hopefully get rugby back up and running and
get the band back together. We're obviously not planning on winning the tournament in Canada.
No, mate. Well, I'm selecting the team, mate, so I won't be playing. But it might be you and Chris Davis, halfbacks, I think. You got better service than me anyway, so it's not so bad. Do you miss playing at all, mate? As in, one more year?
When I had a look yesterday and realised I'd been retired 6 years, like Dial said, it's a bit of a regret I didn't play for maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But because of work commitments and that, I couldn't really afford to get injured because I don't really get sick pay or anything like that, same as other people as well. But because I'm on the road now, can't really play, can't train. but I'm hopefully hoping to land a job down in Bridgewater at the end of the year, which would be perfect timing, really, for the season starting. So we never know, mate. Like,
get the band back together, like you said,
come
mate.
back and lose us a few games. You never know.
We could do it, shinning the ball into touch and stuff like that. Mate, we have missed those days.
But more than anything, could do a bit of coaching with Bide, help him out, and then be in the club afterwards with the boys and everyone.
Oh, mate, I'd love that. Fingers crossed that can happen, mate. And we'd love to see you back up in any capacity, and hopefully, with maybe tomorrow now with a bit of better news, and then hopefully we can go from there and open the club up and try and get, and that's what I've really enjoyed about doing these chats, mate, is you look at the comments and people speaking, and I know we've had like over 500 views, 700 views on a couple of these videos, and it's just about
get the ball rolling. Once you start getting different guests on it for different eras, isn't it? The different people will watch, and then people start talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. And then just trying to get the club back out there, mate. So thanks for being a part of it, mate, and thanks for giving me up your time. And I appreciate it, mate. Look after yourself.
Yeah, and you, mate.
I know you said that you're not going to watch this back, mate, but I'm sure you will, mate.
I won't, mate. I don't like to sound my own voice.
Mate, hopefully you can share it with all your friends as well now, so maybe both of them can
the old ones are the best. Well, you're one of them, so
exactly.
Send it to my old man.
Yeah, Clive will watch it now. Hey, thanks, mate. Look after yourself,
No problem,
we'll see you soon, right?
Yeah, take it easy,
Take care, buddy. Ta-ra, bud.